It's a pleasure to host this roundtable with ET and NASSCOM on India's IT sector's preparedness in navigating the COVID crisis. We have Debjani Ghosh, President of NASSCOM, Nitin Rakesh, CEO of Mphasis, Tyagarajan, CEO of GENPACT, and Punit Sood, Head of India NatWest Group. Welcome to the panelists. What are the IT sector's participants saying over the second wave in India? Whether it's we've seen companies marshalling resources to provide relief, medicine, whatever support. The way we have handled this crisis, what's been the feedback that you're getting from your clients, your employees, your participants across the world?
We finished a survey of around 250 plus companies to understand how they were coping with the second wave and what was the impact. 100% of the companies said that their first priority in the second wave is about employee health and safety. If I start with the large companies, most of today's panelists are all from the large companies. First priority is health and safety. Second priority is employee engagement, mental well-being, etc. And then comes business operations and cybersecurity. So net, I think what we have seen, the Indian IT industry has always stood for resilience. We've always talked about the resilience of the tech industry in India. I think another word got added to how we would describe this industry, and that's empathy. So resilience and empathy have really stood out in the second wave.
We have a daily stand-up call with all my operating leaders. And in that stand-up call, I think there's a difference in the tone of conversation actually, and the conversation that I, let's say, had a month back. A month back, 6 weeks back, it was, I think the best word to describe it, because everyone used this word, is helplessness.
Right.
There was a complete feeling of helplessness. And, if you go to the definition of helplessness in the dictionary, it is, I desperately want to do something and I cannot. And I don't know what to do. And that is often in the context of my team, my colleague, my friend. Of course, it's also family, but the people on the call are people who are actually saying, look, I need to help my team. I don't know what to do. And this was when oxygen, hospital beds, just getting tested. I don't even know if I'm positive or not. I couldn't get tested. Right? People are getting turned away from being tested. So, in contrast to that, the mood is so much more improvement, because, we started tracking all the curves and all of this. So that is one. The second is, I think the word empathy is the perfect word. I mean, the degree to which people wanted to go above and beyond.
Yeah.
And I would say it's obvious when you want to help your team member, your colleague, as well as your customer, and you're not impacted. But these are people who actually are themselves also impacted.
Precisely.
I mean, there are people who've sat doing calls and organizing things for their team while they're sitting in the hospital because one of their close family members are in hospital.
I think this is the last 6-8 weeks. Not only the industry, but each one of us has kind of built a lot of character. We've seen the true heart, the softer side of the industry, the forward-leaning stance taken by most companies, most CEOs. What can we do to help our teams? What can we do to help our teams' families? I mean, it doesn't really matter whether they're okay, but there's somebody in the family is not fine. So I think the whole COVID war room concept actually has been really, really helpful in at least bringing some order into that chaos that they were all going through. And we've seen the same from our clients. I can tell you, barring maybe 1 or 2 calls, most of the calls really are about, our clients are really worried about what's going on. What can we do to help? Is there a way we can, contribute to the programs? Is there a way we can provide some assistance and resources? And I think to give true credit to the teams in India, I mean, this is truly a testimony to the work ethic that we've built in the industry over the last 30 years. The best thing for us is to just put our heads down and get through this wave, because the scale, the depth of talent, and the history that we have of success in the industry with the talent pool isn't just easily repeatable. So I think. And by the way, not only are the clients in the same mode, even the industry advisors and consultants have taken the same stance. Almost on a every alternate day basis, I'm on a call with one of the advisors, and their stance is actually very similar. So I think a true display of commitment. Of course, empathy is the right word, but I think first and foremost, just the realization that we are all in this together. I'm really heartened to see how considerate our employees have been to the client cause.
So we call ourselves the GCCs, and we had gone and sensed out from a number of them as to what's going on during this period. And I think the interesting thing is the word which comes to mind over and above what Tiger and Debjani and Nitin have spoken about is actually about agility.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are asking us questions saying, has work moved back?
Right.
This question which keeps coming up, and I keep explaining that, especially for GCCs, I'm talking at this point of time, GCCs naturally work in a load balancing mode with their parents and with the other sites. That is the model which literally without exception every GCC uses. So when people ask me, do you load balance? Of course we do. Has any work been repatriated, or has any discussion even started to have work repatriated? The answer is absolutely zero. So the way we are looking at it is actually as a very strong vote of confidence right now. We are getting rid of irrelevant stuff to give some space to our people. I'll just give you two quick examples of this. So we do quarterly check-ins with employees where a manager sits with and documents a conversation with every employee. So we said, given the timing of this wave, we want to defer our Q2 check-in by 45 days. And the firm said, you know what, makes sense. We're going to do it across the firm so that we don't create confusion. They just said, let's delay it. And we picked up a number of things which could be changed. And we said, let's give more space because of that mental well-being.